this is TJ from tjontheroad.com. Today we're looking at the Morningstar MC8 foot MIDI controller. Got it hooked up here with the Fractal FM3 as well as my Roland MC707. Going to do a little bit of a jam and then we'll talk about how to get it all hooked up. All the MIDI commands and settings with the Morningstar MC8 as well as the accompanying editor. So let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the Morningstar MC8 and the setup that I use for that given song, and then later on I'm going to look at a more detailed setup for the FM3 that can recall presets, it can recall scenes, as well as the tuner and individual blocks. So looking at the Morningstar MC8, what I did with that song is I created 4 different scenes, an intro, a verse, a chorus, and a bridge. And at the end of the song, I went back to the intro section, and it's controlling both the scenes on my FM3, as well as it's controlling the Roland MC707 for the different background tracks that I have going on, the drums, the bass, and a couple synth tracks. Looking on the software is the best way to get an idea of what's going on. Keep in mind, you can do the programming on the MC8 itself, but it's much easier with the software. I'm sure most people will probably want to use it that way before they get to the gig, and only use the programming right on the MC8 if you have to make a quick change. So we're going to talk about using the software. Now, if you look over here on the software, in the introductory section, I have 2 different control changes. I have when just do a simple press, as opposed to all these other type of changes. You can use a press. You can have actions on release. You can have actions on a longer press after the release, and so forth. The release all, double tap release, long double tap release. So a lot of different ways that you can use the same button, the same foot switch, I should say, to get a different action. So I used the simple press, and I have a control change, and this is for the FM3. Now what I did with the FM3 is, if you look into the settings section, that is the setups, and you go down to the MIDI remote, you hit enter, you can use their learn functions here. So if I was to go down here and say, okay, I want to change the scenes, I go over to here, and I come down to here where it says Scene Select. And you'll see here I have it set for 20. Now, the FM3 does have a cool function. If you hit Enter, it puts in a learn mode. So all I need to do is hit the controller, and it'll remember the settings. So if I hit the controller for the intro, it'll remember that it was 20. Let's just say, for example, I decide to change that just for right now. I change it to 19. But if I hit learn mode, it'll change back to 20 after hitting it on the controller. Now with the scene selects, you have to hit the scene, and then you need to hit the control number. I have to set that up here on the MC8 for the given control. So you'll see the first scene is control number, CC number 20, and the CC value is 0. When you go to the next scene, you'll see that the CC value is now 1. And that takes you down to the next scene that is set up on the FM3. And so forth. For the chorus, that's to 2, and then to the bridge section, that's for 3. And then I went back to the intro, okay, which is 0, which actually corresponds to 1 for the MIDI value. And then on the second message that gets sent up, I'm recalling the actual background track for the MC707, the Roland here. And that's done through a program change. And on the MIDI channel 16, the first background track is numbered 0. When I want to go to the verse, it's numbered 1. Again, the chorus, number 2. And the bridge is number 3. And then back to the intro section that I use for the actual ending of the song. So pretty easy setup with this. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the FM3 and a more detailed setup. So now we're going to take a look at a more detailed setting that I created just for the FM3 that allows me to do a number of different things. It allows me to change the presets up or down 1 increment, or the scene up or down 1 increment. I can turn on or off the tuner, and I can toggle blocks on and off, that being the delay as well as the drive. Now if I hit the 2 in the middle here, the B and C, that'll toggle pages that are on the MC8 back and forth. And now I've set up individual scene commands for the FM3, so I can control the scenes that are going to be current. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning here. So I'm going to go back to the first page on the MC8. And the first one here is the preset. So preset down and preset up. So I use the learn function on the FM3, and I created in the software here a command for the preset down. So I use the control number of 12, and you can use any control number that you want. And the CC value of 0, you don't need to change that. Anytime it receives any kind of CC value with a control number of 12, it's going to push the preset down. Now when I go to preset up, well, I use the control number of 13. So it'll push the preset back up. Same is true for the scenes. With the scenes, I use control number 10 for scene down. For control up, I use control number 11. Now you can also use it to turn the tuner on and off. So if you hit this one here, what I did is I used a toggle. And I see it turned the tuner on. It has the control number of 14. But here it is important to have a control value, a CC value. The turn on value I have is 127. That's just the highest. It's like a switch. And then the turn off value, if I hit the toggle again, is 0. Now if this is on toggle mode on, so what that means is the first 2 lines here, the first 2 messages, will have that action of you hit it once, it'll do the first message, you hit it again, and it'll do the second message. Now I'll do the same thing with the delay toggle and a drive toggle. So if I wanted to turn the delay on, well, I made that so it's on channel 16. the control number of 16. Again, the highest number being on, the low number being off. Now you'll see it's kind of interesting in that you can also set it to blink when you hit it once, and then if you hit it again, it'll turn off the blinking. And the same thing I did with the drive channel, where I used the CC number of 17. Then we go over to the scenes. So I want to toggle to the next page. Again, I'm going to hit the B and C foot switches here, the two center. And you'll see that I have scenes 1 through 8. Now, if I hit the first scene, I use the control number of 20. And that's a value of 0. 0 corresponds to 1 in MIDI speak, so to speak. And if you want to go to the next scene, you just hit there and it's going to go up 1 to 2. For the third scene, 3 is the fourth scene, 4 is the fifth scene, and so forth. And again, I use the learn mode in order to set up the FM3 for the scenes. So the best practice is to set it up in the software for what control number that you want to use. Go to the learn mode on the FM3, hit the enter button, wait for that little screen to come up so it is in learn mode. Hit your controller button so it'll send that message, and then it'll remember that on the FM3. Well, hey, that's it. That's using the Morningstar MC8 with the Fractal FM3 and also controlling other gears such as my Roland MC707. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do share it and subscribe to this channel. Check out tjontheroad.com for more, and thank you for your support.